After another massive victory inside the ring, Amanda Serrano continues to prove why she is one of the most decorated fighters in women's boxing. The 7-division world champion has built her legacy on devastating power, relentless determination, and a willingness to take on the biggest challenges the sport can offer. But behind the championship belts, historic paydays, and her latest victory over Lucrecia Manzur lies a multi-million-dollar fortune and a lifestyle earned through years of sacrifice. From her luxury home and dream Lamborghini to her legendary rivalry with Katie Taylor and her journey from Brooklyn gyms to the biggest stages in boxing, today we're pulling back the curtain on the extraordinary life, wealth, career, and legacy of Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano's net worth in 2026 is estimated to be around $15 million, massively boosted by her record-setting $9 million payday in her July 2025 trilogy fight against Katie Taylor. This extraordinary fortune cements her status as one of the highest-earning female athletes in combat sports history. Despite her groundbreaking paydays and massive success, Serrano is known for maintaining a grounded perspective. Yet her primary home base in Brooklyn reflects a comfortable, high-end sanctuary designed for focus and recovery. Inside, floor-to-ceiling glass windows flood the open-concept living spaces with natural light, while spacious bedrooms, a sleek modern kitchen, and expansive interiors create a calm contrast to the intensity of her boxing career. Outside, a private swimming pool provides the perfect setting for recovery and relaxation away from the cameras. When it comes to her garage, Amanda Serrano's vehicles reflect different sides of her life. Starting with the Ford Edge, Serrano has a practical mid-size SUV known for its spacious interior, comfortable ride, and everyday versatility. Moving up in luxury is the Range Rover Sport, combining a premium interior with strong performance and all-terrain capability. Its powerful engine options, commanding design, and sophisticated cabin make it an ideal blend of comfort and utility. Then comes the Mercedes-AMG Coupe, bringing a completely different level of performance to Serrano's collection. With aggressive styling, a performance-tuned engine, and a luxurious interior, the AMG delivers the speed and presence expected from a high-performance Mercedes. But at the center of the garage sits the Lamborghini Huracan, powered by a naturally aspirated 5.2-liter V10 producing up to 640 horsepower in certain versions. The Huracan can reach 100 kilometers per hour in around 3.2 seconds and represents the ultimate symbol of Serrano's hard-earned success. From the practical Ford Edge to the luxurious Range Rover, the powerful AMG, and finally the dream Lamborghini, every vehicle reflects a different chapter of the life Amanda Serrano has built outside the ring. To truly understand how Amanda Serrano earned this lifestyle, we have to go back to where it all began. But before we take that journey, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Born in Carolina, Puerto Rico, and raised in Brooklyn, New York, Amanda Serrano grew up in a family where boxing was never far away. Her older sister, Cindy Serrano, was already involved in the sport, and Amanda eventually followed her into the gym. What started as simply stepping into her sister's world soon became an obsession of her own. Under the guidance of her brother-in-law and longtime trainer, Jordan Maldonado, Serrano developed the discipline, toughness, and relentless work ethic that would eventually become the foundation of her career. By 2009, that determination had taken her from the neighborhood gym to the professional ranks. Serrano entered boxing at a time when opportunities for female fighters were still limited, but she refused to let that define her ceiling. Fight after fight, she developed a reputation for explosive punching power, relentless pressure, and a dangerous southpaw style, turning herself from a promising young fighter into a legitimate championship contender. But one championship was never going to be enough for Amanda Serrano. She moved through the weight classes, taking on bigger challenges and collecting world titles along the way. Eventually, she became a 7-division world champion, an extraordinary achievement that earned her a Guinness World Record and placed her among the most decorated fighters in boxing history. But Serrano's impact went beyond the number of championships she collected. Every time she stepped into another division or accepted another dangerous opponent, she helped demonstrate that women's boxing could produce fighters capable of headlining major events and commanding global attention. Then came the rivalry that would take her career from championship boxing to global superstardom, Katie Taylor. When Serrano and Taylor finally met at Madison Square Garden in April 2022, the fight represented a historic moment for women's boxing. They became the first women to headline the legendary venue, and what followed was an unforgettable battle that saw both fighters push to their limits. Taylor ultimately won by split decision, but the fight created something much bigger than a single result, a rivalry that would become one of the defining stories in modern women's boxing. The demand for another fight only grew, eventually leading to their highly anticipated trilogy chapter in 2025. By then, Serrano and Taylor had become two of the biggest names in women's combat sports, and Serrano's reported $9 million purse for the trilogy represented one of the most significant paydays ever achieved by a female boxer. But even after reaching that financial and sporting milestone, Serrano wasn't finished. At 37, with more than a decade of championship fights behind her, she returned to the ring once again, facing Argentina's Lucrecia Manzur in a 12-round unified featherweight title fight. Manzur refused to simply play the role of challenger, pushing Serrano through a difficult and competitive fight that went the full distance. When the final bell rang, Serrano's hand was raised by majority decision. The victory allowed Serrano to retain her WBA, WBO, and ring featherweight titles. And more importantly, it gave her the 50th win of her professional career. And that latest victory also adds another layer to Serrano's complicated legacy. Throughout her career, some of her closest fights have produced heated debate over judging and scoring, particularly during her rivalry with Katie Taylor. The Manzur fight followed a similar pattern, with the majority decision sparking discussion over how competitive the 12 rounds really were. She has kept much of her personal life away from the spotlight, choosing to keep the focus squarely on her career and legacy. At 37, she is contemplating retirement while preparing to transition into leadership roles in boxing promotion, ensuring her impact on the sport extends long after she hangs up her gloves. Still, those debates haven't erased what Serrano has accomplished. If anything, they underline how often she has placed herself in high-pressure situations where every round, every decision, and every championship has carried enormous consequences. Now, at 37, Serrano stands at a fascinating point in her career. She has conquered 7 weight divisions, shared one of boxing's biggest rivalries with Katie Taylor, collected her 50th professional victory, and helped push women's boxing into a new commercial era. With retirement increasingly becoming part of the conversation, her focus may soon shift toward what comes next, including a potential leadership role in boxing promotion. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment below letting us know your thoughts on Amanda Serrano's incredible journey, and be sure to check out our video on Dimitri Bivol next. See you ringside.